What's up guys, Rick Kackis here. Thanks so much for stopping by, and today, oh my goodness, we just have a ton of brand new Shadowkeep information. Now this is all coming from the Gamescom event, and just so much stuff came out. There's a brand new Shadowkeep gameplay trailer. I already did a video breaking that down. Check it out if you haven't. A lot of interesting stuff there. But then after that came out, it was just a smorgasbord of stuff. We got a brand new cinematic trailer for the season of the Undying. Now this is the season launching at the same time as Shadowkeep. Then we got even more brand new gameplay from the Inside Xbox show, and lastly we got a brand new press kit launch which showcases new things including new exotics, and not just images of exotics in the background, actual exotic perks this time around. We know exactly what they do. Very exciting stuff. Let's get started. So first things first, that cinematic trailer. Definitely check it out if you haven't in the original source, a link down below, but I'm not going to go over it too much because this is more of a lore thing than an actual gameplay thing, but it does showcase that the Vex are playing a massive part in the entire Shadowkeep storyline. Now, that's kind of interesting because, I mean, you're on the moon and you're fighting Hive. That's what we've seen 90% of the time in trailers and Vidocs and so on. But the raid does take place in the Black Garden, which is mentioned specifically in this cinematic trailer, so it looks like the events of the raid are going to have a big impact not only on this season, but Bungie did mention that for next year's brand new annual pass, all the seasons will lead into one another. They're all going to have a connected storyline. So again, expect the Vex to be a very common sight for the next year of Destiny 2. Alright, now moving on from there, let's talk about that brand new Shadowkeep gameplay from the Inside Xbox event. So, there was a lot revealed, and mainly they talked about finishers and how that is going to impact the game when you play Shadowkeep. Specifically, they talked about how there's different mods you can put on your finishers that actually affect gameplay, and they showed those mods off. In fact, they did so by taking a look at the seasonal artifact. This is our first real look at this thing. We've heard about it back with the Vidoc, but it turns out that as you're unlocking these new seasonal quote-unquote perks, what you're actually unlocking is mods. You can see here that every single slot is in the shape of either a weapon or armor mod, and we can actually see that in-game right here. Some of the mods, in this case this heavy finisher mod, are that same like turquoise color that's associated with the seasonal artifact. So as you level that up in the season, you unlock brand new mods. And again, we talked about finishers. This heavy finisher mod makes it so that finishers generate heavy ammo actually for your entire team, they said on stream, and it requires 1/2 of your super energy. So yeah, that's a big cost. But doing a finisher and every single person on your team gets a heavy ammo brick, that's pretty good. Now, looking at more of these seasonal mods, we have Oppressive Darkness, costs 6 energy. Causing damage with a Void Grenade adds a weaken effect to enemies. Now, a weaken effect, that's what it says under Melting Point for the Titan. That could be very good. Next up, we have Arc Battery. 5 energy cost, grants overshield and reduces cooldown during activation for all Arc class abilities. Then we have Thunder Coil. 6 energy cost, grants bonus damage for all Arc melee abilities and refunds super energy on finisher final blows. But it's not just armor mods. If you look at the seasonal artifact, there's quite a few weapon mods. And we actually get to see a few of them. Firstly, we have anti-barrier rounds. This mod is usable only on auto rifles and submachine guns. Shield-piercing rounds designed to bypass combatant defenses, strong against barrier champions. Now that's a new enemy type, and we're going to see that when we look at one of the new activities coming in Shadowkeep. Next up, we have anti-barrier hand cannon. Shield-piercing rounds designed to bypass combatant defenses, strong against barrier champions, obviously for hand cannons this time. And lastly, we just barely got to see overload rounds. This mod is usable only on auto rifles and submachine guns, Uninterrupted fire grants bullets that cause disruption, delaying ability energy regeneration and lowering combatant damage output, strong against overload champions. So that's pretty darn sweet, and that is a whole ton of mods that we have not seen, we don't really know anything about, especially during the Armor 2.0 stream. We really didn't know these are coming, and they seem quite powerful, so definitely that's something to be excited about. Moving on from there, let's talk exotics. We have this screenshot here which showcases a hunter decked out in a bunch of brand new Shadowkeep gear. You can see the hand cannon, the auto rifle, I don't know why you're running double primary, come on guy, and then it looks like a grenade launcher have all the new kind of Eris Morn Shadowkeep symbol behind them. In fact, we get a closer look at the hand cannon, the Loud Lullaby, right here. It's an aggressive frame hand cannon with field prep and 4th times the charm. Presumably it's just random rolls, however. But this is notable because we saw this hand cannon quite a bit in promotional images. It's of the original trailer where Eris Morn is setting down a hand cannon with feathers and stuff. That's this hand cannon, so it's just a legendary in the game. Now, interestingly, I want to draw your attention back to this screenshot here. We see the other weapons this Guardian can choose. It looks like potentially a shotgun, a sniper, and of course, an exotic. And that exotic is 100% the Monte Carlo exotic auto rifle returning from Destiny 1. Getting kills with it increases the recharge of your melees. But look closely. The symbol used to represent the Monte Carlo is a Vex head. That's actually different than the kind of Eris Morn symbol we see on the Loud Lullaby and all of the other weapons and armor, including the exotic helmet that we're going to talk about in a sec. So I think this is being used to distinguish the fact that the Monte Carlo is not a Shadowkeep weapon. In fact, this is a Season of the Undying weapon that we talked about earlier. We saw that cinematic. We know it's all about the Vex. So potentially this is indicating that the Monte Carlo is going to be available in an exotic quest or something for all players, not just Shadowkeep owners. In any event, let's talk about that exotic helmet. Now, we've seen this thing several times in promotional images and trailers, but we never knew exactly what it did. But now we know exactly what it does from this screenshot here. It's called the Assassin's Cowl. Now you see me, now you don't. The exotic ability is Vanishing Execution. Defeating a Guardian with a melee attack or a combatant with a finisher grants invisibility and restores a portion of health and shields. That seems actually pretty good. Every time you use a finisher, you get health and shields back. In PvE, that's going to add quite a bit of survivability, especially if you're adding on one of those mods that we saw that gives you a pretty darn good effect for doing your finisher. So that's a lot of synergy there. And speaking of exotics, you know what? Let's just look at another one. This comes from the press kit. It's the Phoenix Cradle exotic leg armor for the Titan, and its exotic ability, unfortunately it's a little bit cut off here, but it says your Sun Warrior benefit, which is part of the bottom tree for the Sunbreaker. It reads, Sun Warrior, passing through a sunspot causes your solar abilities to recharge faster and your super to last longer. It also increases all damage you do. So, your Sun Warrior benefit lasts twice as long as you're in your sunspot. I think it says allies who pass through your sunspot also gain the benefit of Sun Warrior. So any class, any subclass, as long as they're standing in your sunspot, they get that Sun Warrior perk, and that is actually pretty good. There are definitely some subclasses out there that could really benefit from those bonuses. Moving on from there, we have a brand new activity revealed with Nightmare Hunt. This one is Nightmare Hunt Servitude. It seems like there's several different options for Nightmare Hunts. In fact, you can see in the background 3 different ones appear to be available to do, and there's different tiers of powerful gear if you look at the rewards. The first one, powerful gear tier 1, that's likely affected by the different difficulties. And we actually got to look at the 3 different difficulties you can pick from when you're doing Nightmare Hunt. Firstly, Adept Light 860. It says it has the mission modifiers Air Superiority. Then we have Hero at power level 920 with the modifiers Air Superiority, Champion's Overload, Champion's Barrier, and Torment of Zygon. So we're gonna have to find out what all these different modifiers do when Shadowkeep launches, but finally we have Legend all the way at 950, and that has just a lot more modifiers. Match Game and your locked loadout is both going to be present. And again, picking this difficulty is likely going to up the tier of the powerful reward you're going to get. Now, interestingly, because they were selecting this new activity, we actually kind of got a look at the outline of the map for the moon. Like, this is what the area is going to look like. In fact, let's compare that to the moon map in Destiny 1. And as you can see, you know, considering the main point of focus is the Hellmouth, you can kind of see that in both maps. Destiny 2's moon, as they said, looks quite a bit bigger. Next up, during this activity search, we also got a look at one of the brand new strikes called the Scarlet Keep. And lastly, I'm just going to leave you guys with a bunch of these sweet images from the press kit, especially the finishing move images. It looks very, very cool. Unfortunately, we don't really get a ton more information. The exotics shown off within these press kit images are exotics that we've seen quite a few times before. For example, the heavy bow, we've seen that in trailers since the Vidoc. It's pretty much everywhere. And so guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, found this interesting. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at @RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.